Hello, and happy fucking Wednesday. And welcome to People Talk Now. This is a show where you ask about it and I talk about it. And let's not forget, guys, we are trying to change the pace out there on what people are calling better days. Happy fucking Wednesday and welcome to season 2 of People Talk Now, episode 26. And I really want to thank everybody who's, listened to every show up until this very episode. I appreciate everybody for investing that time in me and listening and going on this journey with me, basically. So I hope everyone is having a really good morning and you woke up with grateful hearts and realizing that we have yet another opportunity to make this day great. Today, first of all, before I jump into that, I really just wanted to talk about how it's been really amazing as of so far, basically, regarding my podcast and the amazing feedback that I keep getting from every single one of you. And I can't really explain in full detail of how it feels, but I can say that it makes me really, really grateful and happy. And sometimes I almost honestly feel like a sort of disbelief that there's people that are reaching out to me and like getting back to me and like telling me in what ways I'm helping them. And it's if you've ever felt that before, it's such a good feeling that like it just makes you feel like there is a purpose as to why you're here and a purpose for your voice. And ultimately, like, that's one of the main reasons as to why I created People Talk Now, because I got to a point in my life where I just felt like, you know what, like, I need to use my voice for more than what I'm doing right now. Like, there has to be more than this. And like, I got to that point. And so I don't know where you're headed this morning. If you're on your way to work, on your way to school, I'm having tea, lemongrass, and I think it's lemongrass and lemon. I don't know. Is that a lot of lemon? That sounded like a tongue twister. Is that a lot of lemon? Yeah, so I just had to kind of say that really quick before we get this morning started. And Wednesdays are my favorite days of the week. I chose Wednesdays because Wednesdays have just always been my favorite day. And it just kind of like, hey, we're halfway through the week, but we're kind of not. Like, it's just like I don't know, it's a good day. I like Wednesdays. I don't know why. Just ever since I was younger, I always fucking like Wednesdays, you know? Maybe because when I was younger, I'd be like, damn, we're getting that much closer to food stamps. I'm fucking with you guys, but not really. Okay, so today I really wanted to talk about enlightenment and what does that mean to me, and basically what my take on it is. And I've done a lot of research, read a lot of books like about empowering yourself and how you can basically get the best of yourself, like the best version of yourself. And so I did a lot of reading this past week. There's a lot of books that I'm reading myself. One of them, I'm sure you guys hear me mention it a lot, but I have a couple of books here that I can show, to you guys on my IG. One of them, it's called You Can Fix Your Brain. And it's a really good book. Like, holy shit, really good book by Dr. Tom O'Brien. And I'm in there, man. I'm way in this motherfucker. And I haven't got into this other book yet, but I'm going to dip into it. It's called, let me grab it really quick. It's called The Conscious Instinct. And I'm going to get into this one next, just because it's calling to me. And it says, unraveling the mystery of how the brain makes the mind. And I am fucking fascinated when it comes to the brain, anything that has to do with the mind. And so all of that led me to what this topic is about today. So enlightenment. Now, when I think of enlightenment, I think, you know what? We need to recognize the path for ourselves that's going to end all of our own individual suffering. And so I got some notes here in front of me, and I'm definitely going to share with you guys some things that I discovered that can help you discover yourself, essentially, and kind of realize like, okay, what are some things that I'm doing that ultimately are, straying me away from finding my true identity, essentially, right? So today we're going to talk about enlightenment and how we can achieve that through simple mindfulness and the actions that we take every single day. And if you don't know what those actions are, then this is a perfect time for you to start figuring out, like, a good example would be if you tell yourself there's a specific thing that you want out of life, whether it be good friends, right? Maybe you're just like, I'm a fucking lonely person. Excuse me. A lonely person, and I just need some fucking friends, right? Or maybe you already have a shitload of friends, and you're just like, why is it that, I'm not, again, not to say that when you have a friendship with somebody, that it should be about what you can get out of it. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is that sometimes as well, the people that are around us are not to say the cause of our demise, but to some degree, the people that we surround ourselves with says a lot about us, right? And so have you ever asked yourself, why do I feel stuck sometimes? Why do we feel like we're hamsters on a wheel and it's just spinning and I'm not getting anywhere in life? Like, why do I feel like I'm going through the same shit every single fucking time, right? And if you've ever asked yourself, why do you keep getting the same results over and over again? And trust me, I understand that we all come from different environments, different backgrounds. But if there's one thing that we have in common, that one thing is that we all within ourselves have that capability to take responsibility for our own lives. And in the minute that we say, you know what, I'm going to stop making excuses for myself. I know that life is not that difficult because it's essentially, it all boils down to what I am making it to be, right? It's about just taking responsibility, pulling up your goddamn fucking big boy, big girl pants and saying, yo, okay, I get it. I know what I need to do. And you have that clear vision of where you need to go and you just do. That's it. There's no yesterday. There's no tomorrow. And that's that. So we as people, humans, whatever the fuck you want to call yourself, it doesn't matter. I love whatever version of yourself you have right now. But I want you to know that you have the ability to rewrite your story. That if you feel like this particular scenario in my life does not fit me, you need to know that you have the ability to rewrite your story. Instead of constantly getting that same story you did as a child, right? Like this, if you ever know somebody that keeps going back to their childhood and they keep repeating this sad ass story, right? But and really nowadays it's like they're still that same person, right? Like they don't change, like they haven't changed, right? Because it's okay to change. It's okay to evolve, to become a better version of yourself. But if you meet someone who, instead of constantly getting the same story as you did as a child, now as an adult, you may know somebody or you may be going through this yourself and you still have the same story, but it's just a more complicated, more complex version of that story. And so, again, this is a way for you to say, you know what, man, I need to disconnect my way of the way I've been told to look at this world, the way that I've been told to, for like the world has to be, then you need to change that. And I know, like, you're probably like, you know what, it's easier said than done, right? But think of yourself as a computer. You got to update your software, right? Update your software up here. And like, it's just such a beautiful analogy that like I read up this weekend, and I just love it so much because, like, you know, shit, we all know what software is. We all fucking update our phones every goddamn, I don't even know, but it doesn't matter. Like, the point is that think of your brain, think of your mind, think of your heart and your soul and everything as a software. And you need to update it because you can't keep living your life this way, right? You're like at this point where maybe you're saying like, fuck, I don't want to live like this anymore. I want a different outcome. I want a different story. Well, update your fucking software, read, do some meditation, hang around different people, hang around different vibes, positive people, people that want you to succeed, people that don't want you to remain with the same rusty, dusty ass software, okay? And always dare to dream, always. Never stop dreaming. No one's telling you that you know, it's okay, you know, but as long as it's okay to daydream, right? You're sitting at your desk, you're at school, you're at work, you're driving, and you kind of like, holy fuck, I just lost about a couple minutes of my life and I don't recall like where I went. But as long as you keep the end in mind and you focus on that, that's okay. Just keep that in mind and keep that as your fuel to constantly keep moving forward. Now, you're probably wondering how can I transform my life? Like, how can I do that, right? Because essentially, sometimes what's easy for someone may be really fucking hard for somebody else. And I get that. But like I said, we all have that one common thing, and that is that we could take responsibility for our own actions and ourselves. That's the one strength that we all have. Like, we could do it. We could, right? Because the minute that you do something well, usually you're like, I did so good at this. Like, you eat really good for a week and you're praising yourself because it all starts there. Like, you have to be able to praise yourself before anyone else could do that for you. My God, this tea is so delicious. So I know what you're probably thinking. It's just not that simple, but that's just it. If you get your inside right, inside of yourself, right? And you better yourself from in here, guess what? The outside, everything else will fall into place. And don't ever be afraid of that confusion and doubt. You guys have no fucking idea how long I had to deal with that. Like, I had to deal with being confused and having that self-doubt that like, fuck, what if this? What if people say this? Or what if this goes wrong? Or what if fucking this? But if, like, we have to think, like, if that's the mindset that we're going to fucking live and die with, you will never enjoy your life. And we have to face it head on, like we just do. And it's part of the waves of your internal waves of growth, right? Like, if you want to really grow, right, you want to get that enlightenment of what we're talking about. And I will explain it to you in a little bit more in detail, but it's part of your waves of growth, right? Because you ever been to the beach and you're sitting on the sand and maybe you're not in the water, you're just sitting on the sand, you're watching, you're kind of like just thinking, you're feeling the power and the energy around you. Excuse me, the tea's getting the burps out of me. And you're looking out into the ocean and you see the waves, right? And the waves are coming at you and you're just like, fuck, the vibe is so good. You know, again, you ever noticed how the waves are constantly just changing, whether they're like flowing or not, but you just see, like, that's you. That's your power. Like, you could be going steadily at a certain pace and you could be comfortable with that, but I'm telling you that it's not going to work forever. It won't. And so you need to step it up and just break out, right? Because when you break out, that's when you're going to really find yourself. And we all daily, I believe that we all have intentions daily, like daily, there's things that we have in mind, things that we want to do. But ultimately, those intentions they're nothing but intentions, right? Nothing will happen unless we push those intentions forward and we make something of what it is that we want to do, right? But the real change for myself speaking, and this is why I'm giving you the advice, is that the real change happens internally within yourself once you let go. And when you let go of all expectations and you're just like, fuck it, yo. It is what it is. And it's this, like, I'm not going to kill myself over this. Life is not that fucking hard. Let me live, okay? And let go. But don't let go with like, fine, I'm just going to let it be. Like, there's a different kind of let go. Don't get me wrong. There's people like, yeah, whatever, it doesn't bother me. But you're not fixing it if you're just pushing it off because it bothers you. There's a different type of let go, if you know what I mean. There's a just, all right, I get it. Like, that's fine. Like, this is how it's going to be. And like, I'm not bothered by this. Like, this is good. Like, it's good for me and for my growth. So we have to ask ourselves this question. And this was like really good because this past weekend I watched an amazing documentary. And so one of the things that was stated on there, and I love it so much, is that we have to ask ourselves this question. And here we go. Ask yourself this, because I'm going to start asking myself this a lot more. So the question is, how good can it get? How good? And really, how good can it get? Right? Because you'll never know. Because there's like, say if there's two roads and one road, you're just like, you're thinking everything's going to always happen bad, right? You're like, what no could possibly mean. And then there's the yes road where you're like, but everything could go right, right? But you'll never really know because, again, you're not really giving yourself that, like, how good can it really get? Because you're not really putting forth that effort for yourself. And when you truly want to reach enlightenment, you are priority. And you have to think of yourself as much more than what you do right now. Because a lot of people, like, we get distracted, obviously daily. And it seems like we're always being pulled in all these different ways. And it's important to just have that time, like, for ourselves, right? To reach enlightenment, to be able to meditate, to be able to be in quiet, to be able to say, like, okay, man, like, where am I going? What direction am I headed to? I know a lot of us have always heard of affirmations and the power that we hold when we believe in something, right? Like, so someone's like, hey, you want to get a good job, right? Like, oh, I applied for this job. And someone's just like, hey, man, if you manifest that, you believe in it, that it's already yours, guess what? Come Monday morning, fucking job is yours. And to some degree, it works. It really does. I truly do believe in manifestation because one day, before I decided to start this podcast, I was just kind of like, I really want to. And it was always that I really want to, but I really want to. But, and then one day I was just like, yo, I have to. I can't go 10 years down the line and be like, what if? Like, oh, damn. Like, what if I had done that? And like, I really wanted to give it a shot and like really just give it my all. But you just really don't know until you actually do it. So I wish, like, I know some of you guys sometimes like will say like, well, I tried that shit, but it doesn't work. Like, I fucking have wished for world peace and it didn't happen. And I get that. But you got to think, like, an affirmation for you, like, you can have that peace, right? You can wake up every day and have that peace, right? Because you wished for it. You were kind of like believing that you wish there was just world peace, right? And maybe your space around you will be peaceful, right? Like there maybe you'll surround yourself with people that are just as loving as you, just as peaceful minded as you, and no drama and all of the above. But the thing is with energy, is that everyone has to kind of be on the same token, you know? And you'll constantly manifest that peace towards yourself as long as you keep directing it towards yourself. But all the world has to be on a very similar page. You feel me? And unfortunately, we have to just consider the present moment. And that's ultimately like what's important right now. Like focus on the present moment, right? Focus on that. Listen to yourself, because a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people don't listen to themselves. They think that they're listening to themselves, but they're not, you know? And we live in a world where our attention is constantly being pulled away, you know? Like whether it be email, social media, you know, we have daily challenges, we have financial challenges, relationship challenges, or sadness challenges, but we must challenge ourselves to be more compassionate to ourselves, to cheer and root for ourselves with those small little victories of things that we've done for self-growth. Now, I'm sure none of us get up every day and we're like, yeah, I can't wait to go to my 9 to 5. It's so rad. Like, fuck yeah, dude. Like, no, nobody gets up and fucking wants to work. Nobody, right? But nobody does something towards that every day. Nobody gets up and says, let me fucking let me get my shit together and let me do something towards not working 9 to 5 every day, right? Like, because ultimately, that's what it is. Like, you gotta, just as much as you don't want to work, that same energy towards the negative aspect of you not wanting to do something, well, that's it. That's the energy that you have to push that intention back the other way and say, fuck, let me do something and work towards not having to get up every single fucking day for the rest of my natural born living fucking life. And do something about it, you know? So yeah, you have to take action and just kind of expand yourself out of that comfort zone. Like, that's it. You ever been watching one of those documentary channels or documentaries, whatever, on Netflix or wherever you do your documentary watching, Hulu, everybody's got all this different shit. And you ever see like the mama bird, she comes and starts like throwing up fucking worms or whatever the hell into the baby bird's mouth, right? But there comes that point, as cliche as it sounds, that the mama bird's like, yo, my back's starting to hurt from trying to bring you all this food the fuck up here. So you need to just spread your wings and fly, you little shit, and jump out and fly and get your own damn food. Well, that's kind of what I mean when I say expand out of your comfort zone, because shit, I'm sure a lot of us would love to fucking be laying in bed. And I mean, I don't know about having someone throw up in my mouth, but definitely, you know, breakfast in bed, get the pampering treatment, you know, all the et cetera, wink, wink, and above. But, yeah, but the thing is that eventually everything gets stale. Everything just becomes those waves that I was talking about. Like, it's just, you got to do something about it. You have to change that zone. And I know that can be a bit scary, that could be like, holy fuck, Vanessa, I'd rather not. I'd rather just stay right here. Thank you very much. But we have to dare to imagine and deal with those fears and doubts. You know, you ever had a kid say, I double dare you. But you have to, it's something you got to do if you want to really reach that peak level of your life. And I think ultimately failure is just quitting. Don't be a quitter. Nobody likes a quitter. Like, don't quit. Like, that's ultimately, you are failing yourself if you quit. And if you've ever had anybody fail you with anything, doesn't matter who, could have been a teacher, your parents, fucking anything. You know what that feels like. So why would anybody want to feel that? Why would you want to make yourself feel that? That's just so sad. But quitting what we ultimately believe should be our lives should definitely be something that you need to think about, because why would you want to do that to yourself? Our job is to basically quiet the noise around us. It's so fucking loud sometimes. The world be loud out there, y'all. And you have to be able to understand, and also to be able to kind of reach in and fucking grab yourself, right? And you're probably like, wait, what? Reach in where? Like, huh? It's just, this is a spiritual matter. This is a mental matter. Sometimes have you ever had to go in and mentally bitch slap yourself a couple times, like pow, 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 right? Damn, these fucking rings hurt. And then you're just like, okay, fuck. Oh, okay, I'm back. I needed that. Well, this is kind of what I'm talking about. Sometimes we have to kind of reach in there and quiet everything out and be like, yo, let me focus on what's ahead and stop fucking jumping the gun and going way further than I need to. When it comes to you and your happiness and about you feeling good and trying to reach the ultimate best version of yourself, trying to find who you are inside and your true identity, because nobody fucking knows who you are. Nobody does. Listen to me. If you're listening to me right now, are you listening? Nobody fucking knows who you are, okay? There's times where people be like, oh, well, I see you on IG this way or that way. No, you don't know who I am. Like, people can be whoever the fuck they want to be on social media, but deep down inside, there's so much shit going on in the world. Hold on, you guys. This tea's like losing its warmth. So, again, I'm kind of feel like I'm just fucking going off topic here, but just start planting the seeds in the garden of your mind, our mind, your mind, whatever. But the seeds that we actually want to grow. What do you want? What do you want? The Notebook. What do you want? But yeah, just what do you want? Ask yourself right now. If you're listening to me, what do you want from your life right now? And ask yourself, what is stopping you right now? Like, what is stopping you? What? Let's start going back to an observer way of life. You're probably like, what do you mean by that? To a way of life where you're observing things around you, you're looking up, you're just aware, you're mindful of the people that are talking to you, the people that are good in your life. So yeah. And I would say too, like, we miss so much shit when we don't look up. Like, when we don't look up and we're not paying attention to the world around us, it's so crazy what we miss out on. And you really have to think about that, because, I used to not give a shit about that when I was like, I've always kind of been very spiritual since I was a kid. You can, if you were to have asked my parents way back when, they would have been like, yeah, she was always a hippie. But there's more to that. I'm just trying to make you realize that when we don't look up, when we don't look around us, we don't look at the people, how things are affecting people, how things are affecting you, we lose sight of so much. And we have to take control of our choices. Because when we clog up our system, meaning our brain, our mind, spiritually inside of us, we are clogging up our system of fear. Right? I know there's probably someone like, I ain't afraid of shit. No, I get it. I get you. I used to be like that too. I used to be like, well, fuck that. Fuck this, fuck that. But the thing is that we're in fear of what if that, What if this? What if that? And that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying, that we need to just kind of like, let go of that fear. And it's easier said than done sometimes, but shoot, my pen is flying away. If you clear your mind, you will have a clean mind. And I'm just like, wait, what? But think about that for a second here. You clear your mind will be clean. You won't have all the distractions. You won't have anything to make you feel hurt, anything to make you feel sad. No one's to say that it's like, oh, well, I can't be happy 24/7. No, you're probably right, but you understand that the fact that you would allow something to make you feel sad, it probably means that you're living outside of yourself. You're letting people affect you. And that means you're not living within. Because if someone says, well, fuck that, this lady said this about me today. Okay, well, those are words. Like, how we allow something to affect us means that we're not living internally, that we're living on the outside. Because why would we allow anything to make us, you know what I mean? That's you allowing someone to grab you, and they're puppeteering your emotions, right? And what the hell? Why would we even do that? So let me begin by saying, since I feel like I brought this up quite a bit in season 1 of People Talk Now, meditation is great for us. I know what you're going to say. I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, Vanessa, I don't have time to meditate. How much time do you spend in line for coffee? How much time do you spend in line answering back emails? How much time do you spend in a drive-thru ordering food? All those accumulated minutes could be spent on the most important person in your life. You. Spend those little extra minutes centering yourself, right? Everything is made of energy and matter. So make your energy right so that your life can matter. I came up with that this weekend, and I love it. I love it so much. Okay, let me show. I'm going to be posting an IGTV on my Instagram. So hold on. Let me get the book really quick. I'm so sorry. Getting it up. Okay. So this book helped me out so much. It's called Just Sit. It's a meditation guidebook for people who know they should but don't. I got you. Your girl's got you. So that's the book right there. And it's so cool. I wish you guys could see it, the people listening, but it has like all these super fun illustrations that just, I don't know, they're really funny, like cute, funny stuff. It's fun. Like the fonts and everything is fun. It just has all these explanations, like little Yoda in there. But yeah, you guys should definitely check it out. I believe the author is Suki and Elizabeth Novokratz. So yeah, check that out. Definitely, it's a must. But yes, meditation is definitely something that you need. Just because it just helps, and it's not something that you could just pick up at the drop of a dime. I get that. Like after I was done reading this book, I meditated for 30 days straight. And what I love about it is that you start off with such a small amount, right? You start off with, I think, with a minute. Like, who the fuck doesn't have a minute? Like, you sit on the toilet in Instagram taking a shit, and like, you feel me? So just keep that into consideration. Please go look for the book. Start meditating. And I'll tell you why, because meditation is like a muscle, right? A muscle that can grow with time. And it just helps you center yourself and quiet all the noise. And I know what I'm talking about, because we could be sitting here and we're fucking thinking of bajillion fucking things in our head that we do not need to be thinking about, that is slowly killing us internally. So please, for the love of baby Jesus, meditate, please. Try. If you need help, hit your girl up. I always tell you, don't be afraid to reach out to me. I love it when you guys do that. So as we grow up, we really aren't taught to basically think critically, or let alone think for ourselves. You know, we're growing up, we're going to school, we're being told, okay, this is what you got to learn. This is what, blah, blah, blah. Fuck you. None of that shit fucking helps us when we get out in adulthood. None of it. Like a goddamn thing. The only fucking thing that ever helped you when you were in school is maybe math. If you got a decent little job out of high school and you needed to learn how to fucking count money. But aside of that, school was a piece of shit. It doesn't do anything for you. I'm sorry for those out there that love school. You know, school is awesome for certain things, but it's just what I think about the educational system. But beyond that, it's like, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? Right? It's about what you want out of your life, because essentially, you need to kind of start. If you haven't figured that out yet, it's never too late. And it's never too late to think about what you want to start doing. And you can't do what other people want you to do, because you're never going to be happy that way. Just going to be so sad. And but don't fight other people about it either. Like if you decide to be one of those people that are like, I'm not going to fucking do what you want me to do. Okay, that's fine. But don't argue with people about it, you know, because people always have these like expectations of people, what people should do, or, oh, I feel like you would make a great this or that, right? And yeah, no, you do what you want to do, okay? In a loving way, tell people to fuck off, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. Just be like, look at here, Suzanne. Look at here, Suzanne. You need to calm the fuck down, Suzanne. I do not know anybody named Suzanne, but if I had a friend named Suzanne, I would probably tell her to calm the fuck down. Anyways, you ever wonder why some people you know constantly keep going through the same shit over and over and over, and then you say to yourself, okay, my friend, this is where I get off. I'm going to just hop on off of here. Well, yeah, there's a reason why. That's okay, because in that little moment, you're basically hardening yourself up, because you can't ask people to change. You can't. And that's kind of part of like when you start becoming enlightened, you start thinking like, you know what? Like, holy fuck. Like, goddamn, grow the fuck up already, man. Like, shit. But you basically, yeah, I mean, shit. You're hardening yourself up because you're just like in a loving way. Like, okay, man, look, I still like you as a person, but I'm kind of like headed in this direction in life. And like, just honestly, like this kind of thing, like you have to see it, right? Like, that's just it. Like you see it and you're like, wow, like, holy shit, this person's actually been kind of holding me fucking back. And the thing about enlightenment is there's a way that you have to approach people. Like, just because you like figure something out before someone else, or you think you figure something out, doesn't mean like you need to be a dick about it and be like, well, you know what, man? Well, you know, I figured out that 2 + 2 actually does make 4, and it's not 44, or it's not 22, and just like it's the stupid example, but I'm saying like, you don't need to go and fucking be like a jerk about it to some people, because that's just the thing. When you love people and you reciprocate that, people will give that back to you. And it's okay. Like sometimes it's okay. You could tell people like, I need to, because when you see people keep repeating the same scenario over and over in their lives, and you're trying to move forward with yours, right? But you're just like, damn, for some reason, like me hanging around you, I keep getting stuck in this circle of like fucking repetition with you. It's okay for you to just respectfully kind of step back. You know what I mean? Like that's okay. And yeah, so it's okay for you to kind of just want to start attracting people that have the same vibe as you internally, you know? Have you ever walked into a room and like you walked in, right? Maybe there's a bunch of people in there, but there was this one person you saw, right? Like somewhere, and you're for some weird reason, you were attracted to their vibe. You're like, man, I gotta go up to that person because like, wow, right? Or the opposite, you were in a room and there was someone that just had like kind of like like what the fuck, depressing, right? But like you were just like, okay. Back up. But yeah. So essentially, that's kind of what this is what I'm talking about. You have to know, you have to find people that are on your wavelength. And you also have to find out when you do, how much time you have for those people, because every relationship requires time to be invested, right? So that's something we have to think about. We have to always allow for more to come into your life, more good energy. And don't think that more means like more money, shopping, all that shit. Money is a drug. Shopping is a drug. Sex is a drug. All that shit is like, blah, 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 is this fucking drug. We like find more of the good stuff that's going to benefit you in the long run. You know what I mean? We don't tell ourselves good job enough for the good we have done at the moment. Like, you know that? Like I'm finding out a lot of people that I know that they don't really give themselves that little round of applause that you need every day to be like, fuck yeah, man, I got this shit. Like, we don't do that for ourselves. We like, I don't know what the fuck we're waiting around for. Like what are we waiting for? And we should start doing that. Applaud yourself. If someone don't fucking applaud for the little tiny little things that you've done, then you fucking applaud for yourself, you know? Because shit, life is fucking hard sometimes, and I get that. So that's why. So I got a little worked up there. Keep yourself simple. We don't need a lot to make shit happen in our lives, okay? I'm not inside of a fucking $40,000 studio right now, okay? I'm at my desk. I'm at my desk right now. I'm just having the time of my life at my desk. Stop having that mentality that you gotta fuck people over to have the best of the best. You don't do that. Like, I hate that. I hate when people think that they gotta fuck people over to get to the top. You don't gotta do that. Because the truth is, there is enough out there in the world for everybody. Everybody can benefit from the world ain't gonna run out of shit anytime soon. If anything, we're making too much shit. There's too much. That's why people need to fucking incorporate the minimalistic life, because holy fuck, people overcrowded. Their houses are full of shit. And the truth is, there is enough resources and money for everyone to help each other out. When did we forget this? Like, when did it get to the like, oh shit, it's so cool. Like, oh fuck, I gotta hurry up. Like no shit. Like, yes, no one's saying like to take your time, because we never know when is our last day on earth. But I'm saying in order for you to reach ultimate enlightenment as well, is that you have to understand that if you want to get wealthy, help others get wealthy. Bam, right there. Hold on, I gotta sip some tea, because that one was just, whew, that was the energy right there. So I'm going to repeat that one more time in case you didn't hear it. If you want to get wealthy, help others get wealthy. We must start encouraging one another to be ourselves. Start encouraging people. Stop. Just stop. We need to just stop judging each other. We need to stop thinking that people are judging you. Like, and even if they are, that is none of your business. You live inside of yourself. You meditate. You find your oneness. You don't need that, because part of being enlightened is that you know that nothing that anybody says is like you're wearing a bulletproof vest, right? Everything is just bouncing right off you, right? Bouncing right off. So let's start encouraging one another. And I'm encouraging you to be yourself, okay? And then we need to start meditating. Why? Because the more awake and less sleeping you are, the more enlightenment you're going to feel. And you're going to begin to discover your true identity. And who doesn't? Like, who doesn't want to feel that? Like when you just know, you're like, oh, finally, like, I'm in my body, like, this is who I am, and I feel so empowered, and people feel that from you, and they just want to, like, plug in and get a couple percentage of your fucking energy, right? Like, that's it right there. Because just remember, I'm gonna end this podcast with this. You watching and you listening, you are the earth's creation, okay? And whether you believe this about yourself or not, you are fucking special, and you were here specifically for some reason. And it isn't until you start implementing some of the things that I've said here today, is that you're not going to be able to find that. You need to be able to discover that. So just keep that in mind. God, what an amazing show it's been. So fun. I love talking about all this stuff with you guys. My back's starting to hurt. Jesus, was I slouching? Okay, so over this past weekend, I found 2 really amazing quotes. I ended up discovering this man who apparently was one of the most influential philosophers in the history of Western philosophy. His name was Immanuel Kant. And he was born from 1724 to 1804. So I guess he died at 80 years old. But the reason why I wanted to bring him up, because he said a quote, and I'm going to start sharing quotes on here that I really, really like. So one of the quotes, he said, "He who is cruel to animals becomes hard also in his dealings with men. We can judge the heart of a man by his treatment of animals." And I really like that quote so much because, like, holy shit, like, I've been trying to say this shit to everybody for like, and I'm like, holy fuck. But anyways, yeah. So that quote is amazing. If you go and look online, which I did, he has like books out from from 1786 or something like that. I was like, oh my God. But really cool stuff. He does a lot of like metaphysics and things like that. So definitely look that up on the internet. Another thing, a quote that is said in Samyutta Nikaya, which is the Buddha, says, "Whoever doesn't flare up at someone who's angry wins a battle hard to win." That is dope. That is dope. That's kind of what I'm saying. Like, we can't, like, if someone feels a certain way about us, whether it's anger or something, like, we can't flare up. Like, we can't let up who we are. Like, that's part of enlightenment. Like, people were going to talk shit regardless, people. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, I want to help you realize that no matter what you do, and what you say, people will just find some fucking shit to pick at, like a fucking booger. And it's like, just be happy with you. Do you, boo? Because fuck, man, I don't know when is my last day. You don't know when is your last day. Do you really want to fucking spend the rest of your life wondering what if that? Hell no. I'm done with that, and you should be done with that today after listening to this. Fuck that. Get to your highest self and be happy with who you are and who you were born to be, and figure that out. And I truly believe that you could. So, thank you guys so freaking much for listening. But as always, at the end of every show, you guys already know that I like to share a joke of the day and a word of the day. Last week, I asked some of you to share a joke of the day, to message me, and that I would post it up, I would say it on the podcast, but I didn't really get that many good jokes, not some that I wanted to put on here, but I do have one, and I thought it's kind of funny. Kind of funny? Kind of. Okay, so the joke goes like this. A blonde drops off her dress to the dry cleaners. The lady says, "Come again?" The blonde says, "No, it's toothpaste this time." But not that come again. She meant like, oh, come back again, but, come again. Just kidding. Yeah, that was kind of lame. Now that God damn it. Got to get better jokes, you guys. You guys got to help me out. But it was kind of funny, though, because, if you think about it, I can imagine the lady, walking out of the door, and she's just like, "Come again." And then she's like, no, wait. No, actually, it's toothpaste. And she's just like, huh? What are you talking about? Now, in that scenario, it's funny. Okay, so, word of the day. Who's ready? Woo! I'm ready. So the word of the day is tarantism. Tarantism. So tarantism means a definition. Fucking up here. Tarantism means a dancing mania or malady of late medieval Europe. So did you know that between the 15th and 17th centuries, Taranto Italy was hit by a dance craze unlike any other. The town was afflicted by a malady that would come to be known as tarantism and was characterized by a hysterical impulse to dance. Some claim tarantism was caused by the bite of a European wolf spider, which is also known as the tarantula and is also named after Taranto. Such folks declare that dancing off the venom was the only cure. Musicians supposedly traveled to the region to help cure the epidemic, and some believe that the Italian folk dance called the tarantella resulted from the craze, though it is also possible that the name of that dance derived independently from Taranto. It has no connection with tarantism. Wow, imagine that in that time, people thinking that the only way to dance off this venom was, to get the venom out was to dance. Like, that's kind of crazy, honestly. Whew. Anyways, as always, you guys, thank you guys so much for listening week in and week out. I fucking love you guys and I appreciate you guys so much. So if you guys ever want to be on this podcast with me, feel free to email me at peopletalknow@hotmail.com. You can maybe be a co-host, or, if you feel like there's something that I should be talking about, or an interesting subject, again, always either tag me to a story, whatever you've seen on the internet, tag me to it. I'm interested. And email me as always. You can hit me up on IG. I'm also on YouTube now, so please, I'm really trying to grow my account on there. So feel free to follow me at People Talk Now on YouTube. You guys, thank you guys so much for listening. And I hope anything that I have said here today really resonated with you and has helped you. If it has, please feel free to reach out. We can continue talking more on this. And yes, as always, you guys, have a kick-ass fucking Wednesday. I love you guys. Bye.